Oh god, this tea is so good. Hey guys, it's Denise. I am back with yet another video. So before I start this video, I want to say Happy New Year. Today is January 1st, 2018. And so I figured, why not start the new year off negatively by talking about my least favorite books of 2017. Now, I just also want to say, everybody has to give this disclaimer in the beginning of these type of videos. I apologize if I don't like a book that you love. No, I don't give a shit. If you are offended that I don't like a book that you love, that's on you. That's your personal problem. That's something you have to deal with. I don't give a shit. I'm not trashing you as a person. We all have our different likes and dislikes or whatever. And obviously I'm not talking to my subscribers, the people who have been watching me infrequently. I say infrequently because that's how often I upload, so it's not on you guys, it's all on me. I'm talking to the people who might see this title and come in and randomly see a book that I hate that they love or whatever. Like, this isn't the channel for you, boo-boo. So now that I got that out the way, let me just get on with the rest of this video. So I also want to say that 2017 was not the best reading year. So some of these books that I'm going to show you here that I did not like are more of the books that I'm disappointed by. I had high hopes for them going into them and they just let me down. And it's two of these motherfuckers that I hate with a fiery, burning passion. Okay, so I'm going to start with the books that I was just, a little disappointed with. The first book is a book that was hyped up. You've heard me talk about this book before if you've watched me for the last 6 or so months. This book is severely hyped up on YouTube. Everybody who reads young adult literature loves this book. And that is Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. If you have been on BookTube longer than a month, you should know what this book is about. And I wanted to love this book. That just did not happen for you, girl. I don't know. I'm going to try to reread it again because the third book comes out I think it's this month or it's next month. And I'm going to give it a go. But I didn't care for the characters. I thought the whole portal fantasy aspect of it, a whole school full of kids who found their, closet to their personal Narnias would have been amazing. But it just really fell short for me, and I don't really even know how to explain it besides that. And yeah, so the next book I want to talk about that I actually own, but I own on audiobook, that I read that I was extremely disappointed in, it's American Gods. I saw the first 2 episodes of the television show. It got turned into a television show last year, and I enjoyed those 2 episodes. It took your girl 3 months to read this book, and when I listen to audio books, I listen to them on 1.5 to 2.0 speed. Sometimes I might push it to 2.5 if I'm really trying to get through a book, and it still took me 3 months to read this book. I just did not like it. It started off pretty fucking promising, and then it was just too much of everything. I think I talked about this before and I said the same thing. It was just too much of everything, too much world building, too many different characters that I was supposed to care about that I didn't care about. Too many, if it's too many characters and too many backstories to all of these characters. So they were talking about one set of characters for a couple of chapters, and then for 2 chapters he wanted to talk about this random character from the past, and then talk about another character in another chapter, and then they went back to talk about some characters we heard 6 chapters ago, and I was just so fucking confused, and I just did not care, and I rewound and fast forward quite a lot in this book. So if you loved it, that's on you. It was a major fucking disappointment to me. So the next item I want to talk about is actually a manga collection. And I didn't even finish the manga collection. I only read the first 2 volumes. And that is Death Note. Now, I watched the Netflix movie of it. And I'm not saying the Netflix movie was good. It was whitewashed to hell. We all should know that's how Hollywood does people of color. That's another story for another day. However, it made me interested in the source material. I had heard about Death Note over the years, not even from BookTube, just on the internet in general. I've heard about Death Note and so many people love this. And when I watched the movie, I said, you know what? I'm going to read the manga collection. went on the library website. They had the first 2 volumes. Rented it, read the first one, just, it was boring. I didn't care. Then I read volume 2 thinking it was going to get better. Nope. So I'm scrapping that whole series. I will not read that any further. So yeah, there's that. Those are my most disappointing reads of 2017. Meaning I went in wanting to read them, having high hopes for them, and they let me down. We're going to get into the ones that I absolutely positively did not like. Not really anything redeeming about any of these books. The other 3 books, I will give a go. No, I won't ever read the last 2, but I will reread Every Heart a Doorway. These 4 books, I would never touch them ever again in life, and I kind of want to give one of them away. But yeah, so anyway, the first book I want to talk about in the books that I did not enjoy is Mudvayne by Taryn Fisher. This book was just so over the top and ridiculous. It just was. You know how Lifetime movies and what's the other channel? Well, no, not Hallmark, but Lifetime be having some extremely out there type of movies. They wouldn't even touch this book, okay? I listened to this on audio. I decided to read Mudvayne thinking that it was a thriller, and it was just... nothing... Don't read it. I'm sorry. I'm going to give another Taryn Fisher book a try, but I really wish I can give this book back to Audible. I really wish I could, but I can't. So, moving on. The next book in the books that I did not like of 2017 is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. Look up anybody's review on why they did not like the book. I have the same exact thoughts. I can't express those thoughts as eloquently as these people can. So I'm just going to say I did not enjoy this book at all. The one thing that I did enjoy about this book, as well as the Netflix original TV show, is that it started a discussion about suicide and suicide prevention and things like that amongst teenagers. And I was able to talk about this book with people at work, with people in my book club, and we all said the same thing. We all didn't like it. We all didn't like how they handled the situation in this book. But I guess I appreciate the book for that. But I kind of felt like it was romanticizing it just a little bit. But, you know, yeah, we're going to keep it pushing. So, the next book that I'm going to talk about that I did not like at all is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. You guys, who is reading this book and enjoying it? I really just want to know. It was too much of this awkward-ass teenage romance and not enough of these angsty, annoying-ass teenagers getting gutted for me, in my preference. If this is any indication of how her other novels are with the annoying-ass romance that feels forced, then I probably won't ever read a Stephanie Perkins novel. I've read her 2 short stories in those, you know, the short story collection, but I've never read a full Stephanie Perkins novel until this, and I did not like it. The writing wasn't that great. The storyline was awful. I didn't care about the main characters. She could have went so many different ways. It could have been so much better than it was, and it was just awful. I remember somebody described this as Scream meets something else, and so I was so stoked for it. But don't you ever in your life disrespect Wes Craven like that, comparing this book to Scream, because it's not even on the same planet as Scream, okay? Like, this book was awful, and the person who was killing all the teenagers. Like, the reason they did it was just stupid. Like, just save your time and energy. Do not pick this up if you have not picked it up, because it was garbage. So yeah, moving on. So we are in the final part of this video. The last book that I am going to talk about is my most hated book of 2017. Yes, I use the word hated. I don't use that word at all, because that is a very strong emotion. And I really fucking hated this book. Like, this and 50 Shades of Grey are my 2 most hated books I've ever read. And I've read a lot of books that I did not like. But the book that I want to talk about is Blood and Chocolate. I don't know the author's name at this moment. I don't care. I'm not even about to research it. You'll see it when I put the picture up on either side of my head. I hate this book. This book can go straight to hell. This book was pure fucking trash. And it's honestly the reason why I don't read books written before a certain time, because it's usually riddled with homophobia, racial slurs, slut shaming, rapey scenes, or there's no people of color in there at all. Like, and this book had quite a lot of the 5 things I just named. I don't remember any racial slurs or whatever, because people of color wasn't really in there, but it was a lot of slut shaming. It was some rapey scenes. It was just this book was trash. Just understand that it was fucking trash. If you haven't read the movie, if you haven't read the book or watched the movie, honestly, just watch the movie. And I would never ever say that about a book to movie adaptation, but just watch the movie. Hollywood took 10% of this book and they stretched it into an hour-and-a-half long movie because they knew the rest of the book was trash. Okay, so I'm going to try to speed through this part. But if you don't know anything about it, and if you don't remember me talking about it earlier this year, it follows, what is the fucking character name? I don't know, but anyway, she's a loup-garou, or a werewolf. It's not even a love story between her and this human guy. She basically manipulates this human boy into falling in love with her, and then she goes on and does these fucked up ass things. In one scene, after her and the guy break up, it's going to be some spoilers, she breaks into the other girl house that he starts dating, and she breaks into her house. I don't even have to talk about what else she did in the house, but she breaks into the girl's house, okay, because she can't handle her emotions. She don't like that he don't want to fuck with her no more, like, or he talking to somebody else. Like, she's fucking 15. Earlier on in the book, her packmates, the other guys that are around her age, basically threatened to rape her because she was in a relationship with a human boy. Like, who thinks to write this shit in books? Like, who let this get published? Then, the most fucked up part about this book is the fact that the main character is fucking 15. She turns 16 in this book. And an adult man who wants to be the pack leader is trying to fucking mate with her. Now, you know how young adult suffers from the disappearing parent syndrome. This bitch's mother was here the whole time, but that bitch wasn't worth shit. I'm calling them a bitch because they're werewolves, but they wasn't worth a good goddamn thing. None of the adults in this book were. None of them. None of them. But okay, we gonna rewind. Did you understand I said she was 15 and an adult guy who's trying to be the pack leader is trying to mate with her? Just that right there alone is why this book is fucking dumpster fire. Okay, and later on in the book, the same guy, after she's broken up with the human, broke into the girl's house, did all kind of fucked up shit. He's basically getting ready to court her. And he's telling her a story about how he was trying to save her from falling in love with a human because he did this, and it was just this awkward ass description of his sex scene where he transformed into a werewolf while he was having sex with his human. He did a little bit every single time he had sex with her, and then eventually he went full on werewolf and he killed her. Like, if you're reading this book past 2010 and you really enjoyed this book, we need to have a little chit chat, because I don't know. This is the worst book I've read besides 50 Shades of Grey in my entire life, and I had such high hopes for this book. I was just, when I say Hollywood butchered this book for the better for their movie, they really did. They made the characters in the movie older. Like, the one girl in the main character was like 19 or 20. The other guy, he was still like her daddy age, because the other boy in the movie was actually her age and it was his son. So yeah, he was her daddy age. So it was still a little awkward, but she was still close to being an adult versus her being 15 years old. So I don't really know what to say. So guys, I'm just going to stop ranting about this book. I had so much stuff swimming in my head, and it was just like word vomit. It just kept coming out. I kept wanting to talk about all the shit that I hated about this book. I truly, even though I dislike this book so much, I didn't mean to spoil it. I never want to spoil a book for people without giving a proper spoiler warning. And I did not do that this time. I could probably throw a spoiler warning right before it, but I'm too lazy to do that. So I'm just going to apologize now. I also want to say, if you have read any of these books and you dislike them, I can see why. If you read any of these books and you absolutely love them, good for you. I did not. They are not the books for me. So yeah, that is all I have for you in this video. I will be back with my most surprising or my favorite books of 2017. As always, all of my social media will be linked down below. Go ahead and follow me. I follow back on everything. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Again, Happy New Year. Hope it's a wonderful New Year filled with lots of good books and friends and family and love and just great health and positivity. And I love you all. Bye.